Hello everybody, it's Starrapter here, and welcome back to another episode of This Week in Star Wars Canon. Every week I break down all the latest in the Star Wars continuity. This can be anything such as the TV series, the novels, the comics, and to the video games. And this week we had issue number 7 of Dr. Aphra. This is also part 3 of the Screaming Citadel crossover between Star Wars and Dr. Aphra. I really like this cover. Reminds me a lot of The Empire Strikes Back with Han Solo being tortured by Vader in Bespin, so really cool callback right there. So getting right into it, where did we leave off? So we have Luke and Dr. Aphra. They're teamed up together. They're trying to get this artifact kind of figured out to where they can understand the sentient Jedi's hologram messages that are going to teach Luke or something like that. So very cut and dry there, but it's basically a horror gothic vibe because they go to this place called the Screaming Citadel, and what that is about is this witch person that is going to solve all their problems in return for them being like basically turned into slaves or with these freaking Aberson symbiote creatures which basically take over the mind. She wants the blood of everybody else. So yeah, it's a very far-fetched kind of story, but it's pretty entertaining, and every issue, including this issue, has been really great so far. So in this issue, we have the whole gang here. This is basically like the ensemble that was promised. So we have Sana Starros, we have Leia, and we have Han, who come to the rescue of Luke, who doesn't really need rescuing because he wants to figure this thing out with Dr. Aphra. He has created a strong bond with Dr. Aphra. So this issue is about them kind of trying to get away from these zombified Aberson symbiote type of people, but at the same time they're trying to figure out more about this artifact. So this is one of those issues where they're running around. It's a very Star Wars feel with horror elements injected into it. So talking about specific things I liked about this issue is, first off, like the ensemble. I think it's great seeing all these characters that normally don't see each other too much kind of interacting. So we have Dr. Aphra and we have Sana Starros, who have some history. They are both girlfriends at one point, and now basically Sana wants to kill her. So it's pretty cool seeing it in that regard. And how Leia is talking to Luke about how he's farm boy and this and that. So it's really cool getting that dynamic, and Han Solo as well. Han Solo, it's just fun seeing these people running around in an environment such as this as a gothic horror setting is pretty freaking cool. And something that I thought this issue did really well was even paint a better picture for the Empire. So we have Dr. Aphra being questioned by Luke saying, look, why were you part of the Imperials? They're evil. And she's saying, well, I was rescued from, during the Clone Wars, basically. Her mother got killed. So she sought the Empire for protection, for order. A lot of people see that in the Empire, which is something a little bit different than the Rebels. And again, I love how they're doing with this with all the Lucasfilm content. We have stuff like the Lost Stars novel and all these other comics and different novels that are exploring, and even video games, future video games of Battlefront 2, you're going to be playing from an Imperial point of perspective. So it's really cool that we're actually breaking new territory for Star Wars. Not everything is good to be on the Rebel side. There are some good people on the Imperial side, and we're seeing a new character for Dr. Aphra. She was working with Vader, and now she is turned into more of a rogue type character, and I'm seeing a lot of redeeming qualities about her, which is pretty freaking awesome. And something else I thought that was really great is when Luke admitted to Aphra that, they are friends, and I thought that was a really heartfelt moment. You see that one panel there with Dr. Aphra, and it almost looks like she acknowledges it in a way. So it's really cool seeing that these people, and you can't think about this without thinking about, can there be some kind of romantic interest between Luke and Aphra after having 3 issues of this crossover? I believe it's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but what happens between now and Empire with the two, it's going to be very interesting to see how that unfolds. And something I really did like about this particular series, this crossover, even though we have characters such as Luke, Han, and Leia, we kind of feel safe with those characters, but the rest of the characters, anything can happen to them. We have Black Kirsten, who I'm going to talk about in a minute. We have Aphra and we have Sano, so they can be potentially killed off. So there's a bit of suspense built up in these couple of issues, because literally anything can happen to them. And well, something I just want to throw out there that I thought was really cool was Aphra using her goggles. Like, they've always been like uselessly on her hat just for a fashion statement, and she's actually using them to basically not get mind controlled by the patriarch or the matriarch of this entire Screaming Citadel. So that was really cool. And so unfortunately, Luke, he actually doesn't have the goggles, so he gets mind controlled. So I think that's very interesting, because now she is going to basically have her own Jedi now. So, or somebody close to a Jedi, because he's not really a Jedi yet. So that was really cool, seeing like Luke obeying, going down on his knees. Like, basically, I guess whoever looks in her direction gets mind control. Same thing happened with Han Solo. And finally, the last part of this issue was something that I didn't really see coming, but I really loved it. They are playing with the horror tropes and the horror theme very, very well in this entire crossover. We actually see Black Kirstenton basically get his head split open with a saw blade to get a symbiote inside of his brain to turn him into like a werewolf frenzy kind of Wookiee. So yeah, there's something about the Aberson symbiotes. Some certain hosts that they get coupled with, they don't really work out the way they're intended to, and that is because, well, I don't know, but apparently Wookiees are on that list. So the last couple pages we have this horror scene of 000 literally being like Frankenstein and cutting open Black Kirstenton and putting this thing in there to help them fight against the forces of the Screaming Citadel. So that was quite a way to end this issue. We have 2 more left coming for the Screaming Citadel arc. I am loving this thing. It is better than Vader Down. I didn't think I would like it this much. So that is going to do it for another episode of This Week in Star Wars Canon, but I want to know what you guys thought of Dr. Aphra number 7. Are you liking the Screaming Citadel arc as much as I am? Make sure you let me know in that comment section below. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any future uploads. Speaking of which, I just uploaded a Black Series unboxing of the Phase 2 Clone Trooper, which happens to be my favorite trooper in all of Star Wars. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe. I'm Starrapter. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you always. So, did you like the video? Then make sure you rate it a thumbs up, and if you did that, go over there, hit that Starrapter head so you subscribe to my channel. Doing so will keep you up to speed on all of my latest content. Speaking of which, you can see a couple of my recent uploads down below. I'm also on social media, so what are you waiting for? Let's start nerding out.